So finally, it's time to talk about whether or not Halo Infinite's beta put a lot of trust from me into this brand, and I'm here to talk about it. But before we get on the video, definitely hit that like button if you guys enjoyed the video. You can always subscribe to the channel for weekly content, and don't forget to go over there and follow me at Twitter at LordAddictIOP. Without any further ado, let's talk about Halo Infinite. Again, I know, man, I can't help it. What's going on, you guys? Gaming Ad here, coming at you for another video. Today we're going to be talking about Halo Infinite. You guys know, if you've been following the channel for a while, I'm a huge fan of the Halo brand, and there has been up and down between me and 343 in terms of how they're developing Halo in terms of a franchise. But it does look like we're finally able to get our hands on Halo Infinite. Yes, it's been forever of talking about this game and not really getting our hands on the sticks in terms of playing this game. But they did have a beta. They had a closed beta, and if you were so fortunate enough like myself to get into this beta, then you were able to play against bots. Now, how it went was day one you played against rookie bots. Pretty much just AI that you would start this evolution with, start this franchise with, and really get the experience and how you want to play Halo Infinite. Then the next day you played ODST bots, which is, they were a lot better than the rookie bots. I have to give props to 343 in terms of how they're developing these bots to really be a pillar of Halo Infinite. And then the third day was Spartan level bots, and they were a lot better in terms to what ODST and rookie bots had to offer. And then what they did is they enabled fellow PvP to anyone else in the Halo Insider that is playing that beta. Now let's talk about the way that the beta itself, for the most part, I had no real big issues. Out there was huge traffic going into it the first day that it went live, so for the most part I expect stuff like that going into a beta. You got to keep in mind that they don't know how many people is really going to download this realistically. They can have an estimation, but they still won't know the payload that's going to go on the servers when all of these people loaded in at the same time. And that's what happened. Website that was holding this crashed, the server crashed. So it took a long time for them to get things up and running. Xbox was doing things up to like 1 in the morning Eastern Coast. So I'm definitely appreciative that, you know, they stuck their guns. They stuck through it, and they made sure that if you were trying to get in there on day one, as long as you were patient, you kept trying, that there was a good chance that you would get to be able to play at least 1 to 2 games before the day was over. Now, I personally feel like the way that they did this is genius. Microsoft and 343 knows there's anything people really enjoy, it's not dying over and over again. So that's what they did. They kind of built you up to taking on other players, to taking on other people that really love Halo. So I think this is a perfect way of doing it. You play the AI for a couple days, you kind of slowly inch them up the little skill marker just a little bit, and then every day you make them play a better AI, and then all the way up to you're actually playing against real people. Now, playing AI, are you going to be 100%, you know, kind of prepared to take on real people? No, but I do feel like the way they did it, people were more prepared to take on people when it came to those couple hours they let other players play in PvP. And I think that is something unique that I haven't really seen a lot of developers or publishers or anyone for that matter do. Now let's talk about the actual game itself. I felt like the gameplay was great. I don't think that, you know, I don't think Halo's ever gonna be exactly where it used to be. I've always stated from time to time, Halo was at a weird position to where they actually had a lot going for them because there wasn't a lot of hardcore competition at that time. Sure, they had Call of Duty, and I think we can all agree Call of Duty is a huge juggernaut even back then as it is now. But one thing they didn't have back then is they didn't have the free-to-play market. Now that free-to-play market is a huge deadly beast, especially Battle Royale free-to-play market. We're in a point of the industry where only Battle Royale and free-to-play games are dominating the market. That is one of the reasons Microsoft and 343 decided to make Halo Infinite a free-to-play game, because they knew they couldn't compete in a market that wasn't free-to-play. For those of you that's been following me for a while, you know that I actually liked Halo 5's multiplayer. I felt like the movements that they put on the Spartans kind of represented what an actual Spartan would be in real life. But I gotta admit that there was a lot of hardcore Halo audience that did not like these changes. They wanted more of a slow-paced Halo game, and they was upset that 343 went that extra beyond the movements that Bungie did. And I could respect that to a point. I still feel like sprint needs to be in Halo, but it does look like 343 got a good middle ground. They took a lot of the dashing, they took a lot of the ground and pound. And when I say they took a lot, they took all of that out. And they gave you abilities such as the grappling hook. And when you do pick up equipment, you could use it at any time. No longer in the previous games where if you picked up overshield, you used it immediately. So you couldn't use the actual equipment at a very convenient time for you. You had to use it at a convenient time for the game. They still have sprinting in the game. They still have ADS in the game, but they did keep it in the fact that when you get shot out of ADS. And they also, because I thought it was convenient and it was awfully funny, that in Halo 5 Guardians, they had it to where if you were sprinting away, you didn't get your shields back. But it does look like in Halo Infinite, when you're sprinting away, you can regenerate your shields naturally without having to slow down entirely. Now, clearly, we got to see how the game comes out at its final launch. They could change a lot of things around to where it's not necessarily going to make it a different game, but a different feel. So we're going to have to see the game on launch, and most importantly, we're going to have to see what that multiplayer and campaign both do side by side. Clearly, we enjoy what we've played on the multiplayer, but Halo is one of the very few first-person shooters that I feel like the single player is just as important as the multiplayer, and we haven't seen a whole lot of that since last year. One thing I can actually really see this game doing well is the amount of microtransactions that they're going to be doing. Now, clearly, we got to state that I want the microtransactions to be fair. I don't want them going wild with these microtransactions, but it does seem like that is the case that they're going to do. They're going to be very fair in terms of microtransactions. It does look like when you get season passes, you can buy multiple of them, or you could just buy one of them, but you can only work on one at a time. They're the only people in the industry that's going to be doing this. I do have a sense that I have a feeling that a lot of other free-to-play markets are going to bring this type of practice into their games, because it's going to encourage people to do all the season passes and not just one, and you have to really focus on one before it's over. For instance, in Destiny, you only got a couple months to finish all of the season pass. But in Halo Infinite, if someone has something that's really cool, you could go back and you can buy that previous season pass and you can work on the levels to that season pass. And I think the AI, the customization, everything in this game is solid. I cannot begin to describe to you guys how great this game is in terms of multiplayer. We got to see the campaign, but right now my head is off to 343. They did something that, you know, a lot of us didn't see coming. They turned the temperature around. They turned the room around. They went in there, they felt that temperature of the room. They felt that a lot of people wasn't feeling what they were showing last year in terms of campaign. And it was like, this year we're going to double down and we're going to show you a lot in terms of what our multiplayer looks like. And in terms of multiplayer, I think Halo Infinite's going to be a huge success. I think a lot of people are going to be playing this, and I think Halo is going to be back to a point, back to its former self. And I'm excited to say that. I love this franchise, and I hope the best for it. And right now, it looks like 343 is going the right direction. But anyway, tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. Is this something that you guys enjoyed playing? How many of you actually got into it? I know I haven't made a video in about a month. I had a lot of stuff going on, but I'm back now, man. I'm back, you guys. And until next time, this is Gaming Addict. I'm out of here. Peace.